We all tend to skip over this part, but I've included a few tips that will give you the safest as well as the best result when using this machine. When used in the horizontal position, it is advisable to use the safety stop to avoid timber being cast from the belt sander. If you wish to place longer pieces over the belt sander, you can undo the screws holding the dust extraction port and rotate the port so that it is not proud above the height of the level plane of the belt. Note the direction on the body of the belt sander showing which direction the belt is going to be travelling. This will also be the same direction for the disc sander, which will be turning counterclockwise as you are standing in front of the machine. There is a sanding belt tension and detention lever at the front of the belt sander. This is for changing the belt, and then once the belt has been changed, you would need to retension it. Relax the tension on the front wheel of the sander and also remove the dust port. Replace the sanding belt with the correct size and be aware of the directional arrows on the back of the belt. There is a right and a wrong direction. The wrong direction will break the belt at the joint. If you wish to raise or lower the belt sander from the horizontal to the vertical, you must release the two clamping bolts that are on the axle housing. One is very obvious to see as it's at the top. The other one is 180 degrees around and directly below. These must be relaxed prior to trying to adjust the belt to the vertical position and then retightened. You will also want to remove the dust port from the end of the belt sander prior to getting to this clamping bolt at the bottom here. Undo those bolts. Then you are in a situation where you can raise the arm to vertical and then retension those bolts. It's easy to get to it from the back of the machine for the bottom and from the front of the machine for the top section. When you replace the dust port after you've got the belt sander into the vertical position, you will need to have it facing slightly forward. There are holes and slots for you to be able to do that. This will allow your dust port to face slightly forwards out here so that you can still connect a hose to the machine. When in the vertical position, the workpiece table can be fitted in the same manner as when fitting to the disc sander. So it can go in down here from here. Present your workpiece to the left-hand side of the spinning disc, not to the right-hand side. This will stop the workpiece being involuntarily lifted off the workpiece table. Using the miter gauge will also assist in maintaining the desired angle and resist workpiece catching. Wear close-fitting protective clothing. If you have long hair, make sure it is contained. Locate and ensure you are familiar with all of the machine's operations and controls. Check the path of the workpiece for clearance and obstructions when feeding your workpiece over the machine. Before turning the sander on, check for loose fasteners, fittings or hardware and be sure the dust ports are properly secured. Always use dust extraction when operating this machine and be aware of fine dust that may be created. Some examples of hazardous dust are dust generated from sanding timber coated with lead-based paints, arsenic and chromium from some chemically treated timbers, and timber that may have crystalline silica embedded or dusted on the surface. It is advisable to wear hearing protection, dust mask and eye protection when using this machine. Keep the machine tables clean and free from things such as resin and gum that may restrict the workpiece. When in the horizontal position, never stand directly in line with the direction of the belt sander. Stand off to one side. Never put your fingers into the dust chutes or against the sandpaper when it is in motion. Do not operate the machine while under the influence of alcohol, drugs or any medication. Always stay alert. Do not allow familiarity gained from frequent use of the machine to cause a careless mistake. Stay alert and exercise control. Watch what you are doing and use common sense. Avoid distractions that will take your focus away from concentrating on the machining task. Prior to starting the machine, make sure the work area has ample lighting and no obstructions that will interfere with the safe use of the machine. Never leave the machine unattended while it is running.